Okay, the probability of A over the probability of not A with this C here is the same thing as called the complement, which means the opposite. Okay, odds, like at a casino or gambling, okay, odds in favor of A are written like this. The first number is success, if it says odds in favor. Okay, the first number is success and the second number is failure. So that means the number of successes plus the number of failures is the total. Okay, so in this Webassign problem that asks you to solve for P of A, think of algebra. We undo this division with multiplying that on both sides. Okay, so look at the blue. We multiplied the 1 minus P on both sides. On that right side, okay, the reason we multiply is so they cancel. So the 1 minus P on bottom and top on the right cancel, giving us just P of A. Okay, now to solve for P of A, okay, we're trying to solve for that top left. Okay, so it's asking us to solve for the n. So what gets rid of that divide by m? Okay, divide by m. M is in mark. Okay, the opposite of divide is multiply. So we're going to multiply by m on both sides. Okay, on that left side, the multiply and divide cancel. Okay, so this is one little piece of this Webassign question. Okay, it asks you what n 1 minus p equals. Okay, now I think it already has p parentheses a, so it's asking you what goes in front of it, and that's m. Okay, now it wants us to get n, solve for n. So what we're going to do is distribute n to the 1 and n to the p. So n times 1 is n times p is np. Okay, now it wants us to get this right side here. So we need to get n p of a on the right side. So we're going to add on both sides. On that left, it cancels. So what does n equal? N equals this thing right here on the right. Okay. Now, next, it wants you to find out what P of A times what? So what you do is you factor out the P of A that they have in common, which would leave M plus N. Okay, on that right side, factor out what they have in common. Okay, this is the next step it wants you to do. Okay, I believe that's the final step it wants you to do. Okay, think about this. If the odds are 8 to 12, that means 8 successes, 12 failures is a total of 20. So the probability of success is 8 out of 20. Okay. All right, a question about rolling dice. They each have a 1 through 6. To roll a 7 means the sum is 7, okay? So how would you roll a 7? 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1. So there's 36 total. Okay, because I've got 6 rows and 6 columns, 6 times 6. So there's 36 possible rolls when you roll 2 dice. Okay. 1, 1 means the first one and the second one land on a 1. 1, 2 means the first one lands on 1, the second one lands on 2. Okay, so the the sum means they add to something. Okay, so what would be the probability of rolling a 2? That means they add to 2. There's only one way, and that's to get one out, a 1 and a 1. Okay, so there's only one way to do that. Okay, if you have a table and it asks you for probabilities of different age groups, okay, so this top table right here is given to you. Okay, so if it asks you what's the probability that somebody's 6 or older, that means you're going to add up the 6 through 9% plus the 10 through 12 plus the 13 and up. Okay, these are ages. Okay, ages on the left. Okay, and these are the probabilities on the right. Okay, so basically it just says 6 and older just means what percent are 6 and older. So you add the 6 through the 9, the 10 through 12, and the 13 and up. Okay, if it said under, you would do the ones that are younger. A permutation is you place in order. Example, a bunch of people run a race like in the Olympics, and how many ways can you order the first, second, and third place? Well, what if 7 people are running and we're doing 3 places? This is called a permutation. This formula, N is the number you choose from 7 people. R is 3, the 3 places. Okay, so you plug it into the formula. You do what's in the parentheses first, so that 7 minus 3 equals 4. Now, what 7 factorial, that exclamation mark, means you multiply 7 times 6 and then all the way down till you get to 1. On bottom, same thing, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, now, since you have 4, 3, 2, 1 on top and bottom, they can divide out. So we're just multiplying 7 times 6 times 5. Okay, a combination is you choose a group. For example, 7 office workers choose a committee of 3. Order does not matter, so this is why it's called a combination. Okay, the formula is a little different. It's got an extra little piece. We still have N is 7. We still have R is 3. N is always how many you have to pick from. R is how many you're picking. Okay, so we do what's in the parentheses first, plugging in N and R. On that bottom, 7 minus 3 gives us 4. So we write out our 7 through 1, our 4 through 1 for 4 factorial. Now on this formula, there's another piece. We've got R factorial, so 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, the 4 through 1 on top and bottom cancel. So multiply 7 times 6 times 5 on top, 3 times 2 times 1 on bottom, and divide. That's the end.